Fornhan.Ponsan, and roll now and become part of the storm. It is hard to explain Olokon. There are no Olohan beings that can see Olokon. You need to imagine how it works. Humans are better than others at imagining. Most magical creatures are bad at imagining. Many only think of what they can see. For magical creatures it is hard to understand others. They are bad at imagining how it would be to live like them. Humans can easily do this, even for things they never heard before. This gives you an advantage at handling other magical creatures. You need to train that ability to get better. Not all are adept at doing so. Olohan is all you can see and interact with. Olohan can be different for different beings if they interact differently with the world. Humans see all they can see as Olohan. This is strange, and almost no other magical creature does this. But Olokon is not seen as Olohan. Those that see Olokon know it is different. The more intelligent a magical creature is, the better they can understand the difference between Olohan and Olokon. They are able to reason why things are different. You need to learn what magical creatures see as Olohan and what they see as Olokon. It explains how they interact with things. Olokon is all that Olohan magical creatures not see as something they can interact with. Some can interact with things others can't, and will see other things as Olohan and Olokon. Olokon magical creatures see things as Olohan that everyone can interact with. Things that someone sees as Olohan will be Olokon for them, because not all see it as Olohan. Yggdrasil is Olokon for most, as we cannot interact with it or see it. It is Olohan for Lirako, who can travel through it. Lirako can see the entrance to Yggdrasil, but no one else can. Even Olokon beings struggle to see it. For Lirako is space different than for other beings. They can move in other directions than we can, and they take paths that are shorter than we can. It is hard to understand Olohan magical creatures that have specialized Olohan. They can do things no one else can. They see the world like we do, but everything is different. Special Olohan allows them to do things others cannot. They think of themselves like us, but we don't have the same basis they have of the world. They will act in strange ways to us and don't understand that they do. Not all special Olohan spans through all things. Lirako move different from us. They see other paths to places than we. You cannot understand how they see distance. You can still understand that distance act differently. This does not affect other parts of the Olohan. They see the same Olohan most see. There are also many strange Olohan things only few can understand. Time can only be understood by very few. There are important Olohan aspects you need to look out for. They are basic ideas how the world can be seen. Always think about how magical creatures see these aspects. This can give you an idea why they are doing other things than you. You need to think about how magical creatures see space, how they can interact with it differently from you, how they can move and how quickly they are, changes how they think about space and distance. You need to think about what their sphere of influence is and what of the world you can see can be reached by them. Humans are weird because they can fly, swim and dig. They can reach everything they see without problems. Humans struggle to see that a lack of movement can make visible things unreachable. Humans have it easy to imagine how they could reach everything, so they can't understand something being unreachable. Time's only relevant if something can be done with it. Day and night are the only relevant times for most. If magical creatures don't live in societies, they only act for the current moment. Most magical creatures see life as only what they can do as they live too chaotically. If they don't live in societies, do they rarely interact with those far away. If everyone is always there, you don't need to ask about time. Magic societies are the only ones that think about time. Without time would larger organizations not function. What someone eats makes them think about the world in different ways. If they cannot eat something, they think only of other uses it can have. Humans are Soru, but even weirder. They see everything as food, but they also treat everything as non-food. Merfolk don't do that. Birams see those they eat as nothing more but food. Only magic societies are able to understand that others can see other things as food. Most magical creatures will not be able to understand that you see it as bad if they kill someone. Magical beings don't think about things like this. They see it as too normal to be any other way. Magic animals cannot be reasoned with. They also cannot be hindered from doing this. You need to know who is dangerous to a magical creature. Humans no longer see others as threats. Humans can easily win against anyone that challenges them. Magical creatures have natural predators. They need to stay safe from. They will act to save their own life at all costs. Magical creatures will not go somewhere where their predators are. The weaker they are, the more do they look out for these things. They don't have many options to defend themselves. For most, it is too dangerous to go near their enemy. Staying away will guarantee their survival. Those a magical creature shares goals with will change how they see things. They will consider what others can do to help them. They see other things as given if it can be achieved by a friend. They already consider the work of others as achieved. They will see others based on how those can interact with their home. They struggle to see some threats when those usually get fixed by those they live with. They know well how they can work together with others. They cannot see how other groups can work together, however. Where a magical creature lives changes what they think of the world. Magical creatures live where they can survive, so they think of other things as bad. The environment in their home changes what they think should exist. When something only happens when things are bad, all of that is bad. Snow can freeze things. They cannot imagine that you can survive where there is always snow, or they think things can only work if snow is there. This is an example. If they live in with water, is it hard to understand how things work without? They only learned how things function with water. If they live in the air, can they move far more? They cannot understand our restricted movement. How much magical creatures live with humans changes every way of our life. Humans remove many problems we should have. We have learned to live like humans. We still do other things than humans do. We use human technology. We use it for different things than humans do. You can get easily food. We no longer need to hunt. Humans force many things on those they live with. We learn to change our way of living to not make humans mad. We have more time to learn more things. Humans make living safer for all. Humans destroy many homes. We need to find ways to live despite that. Humans bring over those that shouldn't exist somewhere. We didn't have time to properly adapt to others. Olokon and Olohan beings' lives fundamentally differ. You will need to learn everything a second time for them. Olokon being exists only through their magic. You need to learn more about magic first to try to understand them. Those that have an Olohan and those that don't. These are the two ways Olokon beings can exist. Humans only think of those without Olohan as Olokon beings. This is not how magical creatures think about this. Some need a Olohan to exist. Not all of those are born with one. Those that interact with Olokon, this is what we think are Olokon beings. Those that need an Olohan are almost like Olohan beings. They understand how Olohan works. They also understand how Olokon beings think. They are the best to try to understand Olokon beings with. Everything works in different ways based on how their magic is. That is a problem with understanding Olokon beings without Olohan. You will need to think how the magic interacts with things to know how they act. Their magic is their Olohan.